Hi everyone, this is the revision video for Unit 3 keywords of your Buddhism exam. The first keyword you need to know for the exam is mala, okay, which is defined as a string of beads used in worship and meditation, prayer beads basically, and that is an example of what a mala looks like. The next keyword for Unit 3 you need to know is mandala. What is a mandala? The definition is a pattern created to represent a spiritual reality. Quite wordy as a definition. Here is a picture of the pattern that they're referring to. So you can see it's a very intricate pattern, very complicated, and it is used in rituals to represent things, and then it's actually made of sand. These monks have probably been working at it for about 5 days. Once they're done with it, once they've performed the ritual, they sweep it all away to remind themselves that nothing is permanent, everything changes. So this definition, a pattern created to represent a spiritual reality, is quite difficult, quite wordy, so I would recommend that you write it out whilst watching this video a few times until you can definitely get it into your mind. When you write a definition out prior to the exam, you're much more likely to remember it when it comes to the actual exam itself. Okay, mantra. What is a mantra? A phrase chanted in worship or meditation, and this is probably the most famous example of a mantra in Buddhism, which is Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mudra. What is a mudra? It is ritual gestures as seen in Buddha images. That is the example's definition, and there is an example of a mudra. So it's gestures with your hands which you perform, which have symbolic meanings. Puja. What is a puja? It is Buddhist worship. Here is an example of Buddhists engaging in a form of Buddhist worship. Rupa. Now, we've encountered that word before in the 5 khandhas. Literally it means material form. In the context of Unit 3 it means a Buddha image. This image has a material form. It doesn't have any of the other 5 khandhas. If you are asked in Unit 3 what is a rupa, or explain why rupas are important for Buddhists, what they're referring to are Buddha images, statues. Tanka. What is a tanka? A tanka is a cloth wall hanging of a Buddha or a Bodhisattva, and there we have an example of one. Okay, jhana. What is that? Buddhist meditation, and there are some monks meditating. Samatha. What is that? Calm abiding meditation. Here is an example of people engaging in calm abiding meditation. So you've got people in the middle of London, very busy city, and they're calming their minds down, and that is actually preparation for the next type of meditation, vipassana. What is vipassana? It is insight meditation, and here is a little example of somebody, well, they could have been engaging in insight meditation. It's the sort of meditation the Buddha is supposed to have been performing when he attained enlightenment. It's insight into the true nature of reality. Wesak. What is that? Buddha Day. It's the most important festival in the Buddhist calendar, when the birth, enlightenment and death of the Buddha are all celebrated. And here is an example of monks and lay Buddhists engaging in Vesak celebrations. Vasa. What is that? It is the time during the monsoon period, which is the rainy season in the Indian subcontinent, when Buddhists retreat to monasteries and spend a few weeks as a monk or nun. That's the exam board's definition, and there we've got some monks with umbrellas to remind you that Vasa means it's connected with the rainy season. Okay, so those are the key words. Now you're going to test yourself. I'm going to stop talking until the end of the video. Okay, so those are the keywords. As with the other keyword videos, just replay the video again and again until you're confident of all of them. Thanks very much.